has been one of the people I've been dealing with over the weekend with these arrivals we have. Okay, so what we've got is we've got some people here that are isolating, that have been, they're staying with us because they basically passed the medical at the border, but they just didn't simply have a place to go where they could self-isolate on their own. So they're staying with us, and so that's how we've got the situation we're in. And Susan is the infection control specialist from CDHB, and so what we want to do is actually get a complete understanding of how we need to look after ourselves and our guests during this time. Okay, I've got a bunch more information as well that I've been given additional to what we're going to hear today.
Yeah, and I've got a few printouts and stuff. So, no, thanks for that. So, yeah, I'm Carol Limber. I work for the District Health Board. So, most of you have seen me over the weekend. So we've just been coordinating the efforts here. So, yeah, as you say, everybody that's here is well. There is nobody that's had any symptoms or any concerns, any way, shape, or form when they got to the airport. If we had any concerns about anybody's health, they were at the Novotel. And just so that you know the whole picture, we've currently got 2 people at the Novotel. Both of them are confirmed negative. Okay, just so that you know that as well. So in case you have guests concerned that and start thinking, we were on this plane and there were people there and positive. Both have been confirmed as negative.
And that's over the 4 flights that you had to come in there.
About all of the flights.
Yeah.
We've had several people in, and we quarantined some more people because they were part of the pod. We sent 2 of those out yesterday. The other lady, we think, was probably had a temperature for a whole different reason. So we're just taking extra precautions, keeping her with us till Tuesday. She's having a nice chill out in the room. The other gentleman didn't have any symptoms, but I think he's got some other underlying health condition that we're just dealing with. But both of them have confirmed as negative. So just so you know, that's the picture. We're not expecting any more flights in, just to put yourself at ease. So as Michael said, everybody that's here is like you or I that have come off a flight that's actually well, but couldn't satisfy the criteria for going back to their pod. So the situation, just so you know, from community and public health, is that the plan for all of your guests will be that they need to stay here for the duration of the lockdown, unless a situation changes for them. So if they suddenly say to you, actually I've been speaking to a family member and then we've got a plan to pick me up, you need to let Michael know, and between Rachel and I, who are the District Health Board kind of coordinators, can have a chat with them and make sure they satisfy the needs. Now, just to be clear, what isn't acceptable is if somebody, let's say they say, I've got my daughter or my sister or my mother or a neighbour that can come and pick me up. Unless they're going to be part of that bubble when they go home, they cannot do that. So they can't do it. But what we have been working at a plan for some people, because we've been really keen to try and get people home as soon as we can, because I'm sure you can imagine if any of us was in this situation, we want to be home really quickly. So what we have been trying to work out is that we've been trying to work out a few schemes where if, say, a couple come in and can pick their car up from home and can bring the car into here and they get back into their bubble and leave the car outside the hotel, and then the person comes out, gets in their car in their own bubble and goes home, then we've been able to work that out for a few people. So to get them back, and they're not coming into contact with anybody, not putting anybody else at risk. So that's the sort of mechanism. So for you, you need to know that the guests should be here till the end of lockdown. Unless the plan changes, in which case, if they have a plan or something else happens, then let us know and we'll see if we can work out a plan to get them home. The thing we're just working through today is if they become unwell in any way, we again let Michael know, let Rachel and I know who are coordinating this, and we're just putting a plan in place that we can support them between either general practice or 24 hours or one of the other GP clinics. We've got a plan in place in case anybody becomes sick, so we can manage that. And then what I would like to do is we said, right, Susie is here after this session, any guests that have got any specific questions about infection control, we'll do that. And then this afternoon, I'm just working with welfare, they're just going to give me a call back. We'd like a bit of a question and answer session with any guests that are interested, that want to come together like this afternoon with welfare. We'll set that up so that we can keep some communication going more. So our job's just to keep them happy, look after them, imagine how we'd be feeling if we were in this situation, which would be, you know, not at our own home and want to get there. Does that make sense? Any questions on any of that before we go into the infection control and cleaning the rooms and things like that?
I mean, we're getting a pattern now, and I think we've got it right. It was a bit clunky to start with, just sort of like, you know, and the actual check-in procedure was because, you know, it's not usual hospitality. You go, you know, and this is hard for us too. But you know, we were able to extend some what's the Maori word for it? Hospitality. Manaaki tangata yesterday with you know, we've got some dumbbells and we've got newspapers, and I've got an espresso machines going there today for them. You know, so they'll
home comforts.
And we need to start getting our systems in line with how we're going to put you know, cleaning pack for them like it was actually.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about in a minute. So just to finalise, I've also got, I'm going to get Susie to check this because she hasn't, because as you imagine we've been putting together things really quickly, but almost a bit of a staff briefing expectations so that everybody else is clear about comings and goings. The people here, as we said, they are the well people. In terms of isolation, they can go out of the rooms to get air. They just need to maintain that 2 metre separation from everybody else. They can be together, obviously, if they're a couple, but we don't want them congregating with anybody else. So same separation we've got here. They can leave the rooms. They can they can go around the hotel grounds, but the hotel grounds is the limit of their isolation. They don't have to be followed around. They don't have to be, you know, we just need to keep an eye and ear on them. But we're happy with them walking around the grounds as long as they don't congregate, but they're not to leave here, so they're not to go shopping, they're not to do any of that stuff. And all of the time they need to maintain social distance. There's some bits on here that I just talked about the lease. And there was some other issues just around security that we dealt with the other day, but we've been trying to talk to the security staff about, you know, we don't need to be watching them all the time. If they've got any concerns at all, they're to ring the police. So they're just here as support for the police, they're just here as an extra support for you, but that's it. They're not here with any security powers at all. They're here just as much powers as you.
And we're I think we've got a good space for those guys. So, they're in the hall, they're in the rooms. Everything. We also offer them a deal that they can get a hamburger or something to get 50% off because there's nothing else going. So we're looking after them. So I think they're now getting it. It is.
So the 2 bits we want to really cover off now are handing over to Susie, which is some clarity around masks, gloves and everything for you guys, because there's been varying things going off there, like you guys coming in masks. We just want to be really clear the do's and don'ts and why we don't use masks in the circumstances where you would. So I'm going to let Susie cover off that. And then cleaning arrangements for the rooms. So, is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. So thanks for letting me come and talk to you guys today. It's clearly quite a scary time, isn't it? Yeah? When the whole country's in lockdown and the whole world has got this major pandemic of COVID-19, which clearly has caused havoc in some countries like in Wuhan in China, in Italy and Iran, and America's imploding on itself as well. Yeah? So just want to reassure you about what we're doing here in New Zealand and what measures we've got in place, so then you can relate that to actually what are the risks for me. Okay? Is that going to be helpful? Yeah. So what we did in New Zealand was very, very early on is we started monitoring flights coming and going from high-risk countries where there was seeing these high levels of spread, China, Italy, Iran, and that was from January onwards. Border control were asking people, you know, are they well, how way have they travelled, and such like, and monitoring them. And then our public health nurses were, if border control had any concerns about those passengers, would pull them out, and the public health nurses were doing further screening, monitoring, doing temperature checks. Okay, and then that escalated as more and more countries had more and more cases of COVID-19, and we were having to clearly step up our border controls and our stamp it out and keep it out approach to COVID-19. And then, as we were seeing majority of the cases are in New Zealand are related to people who have travelled overseas, or people who have been direct close contact within 1 to 2 metres, or family contact of those people who've travelled overseas. Okay? So that's how we've got those positive cases. What we have started to see, and we were expecting to see, are small little clusters where we don't know where some of those people have gotten COVID-19 from. Okay? So what the New Zealand have done is, in addition to the border control measures and monitoring people at the airport, on March the 15th they said, that's it, everybody who travels overseas has to self-isolate for 14 days, that if they're unwell, they go home and they're quarantined at home, or if they can't get home and they're unwell, they go to somewhere which we identified just recently as the No Hotel to stay and be monitored by a community public health team. If they're well and they can't get home for whatever reason, they'll come here, okay? And that's because we don't have any means of getting home, or it's too long a distance for them to travel, like 8 or 9 hours without them risking getting out of the car and wandering around. However, the fact is that these passengers are well passengers, okay? Like you and I just don't have any means of getting home. Now, because we've got these really good border controls and this good monitoring system in place, we would know straight away if anybody got unwell, because we're checking for signs and symptoms and we're asking relevant questions, okay? And that's the same for here. You check people who are here for their wellness for the duration of their stay, okay? If they're well, there is no risk to you or I. The government has also put in place self-isolation for all of us when we're not at work or in essential jobs. That when we're at home, we self-isolate, we have that 2 metre distance between people outside of our immediate family, or our immediate bubble, as we call it. And we perform cough etiquette, coughing into the crook of our elbow. And we have our normal cleaning processes in our home. Okay, that is enough to keep everything good. What we do encourages good hand hygiene, either washing your hands at a sink with soap and water, which gets rid of any dirt or infections off your hands, or use alcohol gel if it's available. Okay. I actually haven't got any alcohol gel at home. I wash my hands with soap and water, and that is enough in your home environment. Okay. Much like passengers who are staying here, they've got bathrooms in the rooms, and they can clean their hands with soap and water. Okay, they use the bathroom, before they go out and things like that. And I can see that you've got the alcohol gel in the hallway as well for staff and residents to use when they're coming and going. So if we have our social distancing of 2 metres, and we cough and sneeze into our elbows, and we maintain good hand hygiene, there is minimal risk to any of us from acquiring COVID-19. Okay? Even if we're stood 2 metres away from somebody with it, yeah? That is the minimum requirement that's needed to protect ourselves.
It is hard to believe when we're seeing so much in front of us, and that's part of the anxiety, I think.
Absolutely, and I think what's happened in those countries is, unlike New Zealand, they haven't got on top of managing their community spread. So they had an uncontrolled community spread where people were unwell and they didn't know they had the virus, had the COVID-19 virus, and then became unwell, and of course have had all that contact with their family members and their community, and they've been going about the business as usual at work and things like that. So we very, very early